Hello, my name is Simon Ludgate, and I'm going to read my book, The Accidental Wizard, to you in parts. Breaks down into 10 parts, and I'm going to start with part one. And before I start reading it, I just wanted to do a little preamble to say I wrote this book about my particular journey, my spiritual journey, because I thought that if I didn't, I might forget some of it. And I thought that other people might find it interesting too, because it's quite strange. And I was right. It did incredibly well on Amazon, and the feedback I've had from it personally has been absolutely amazing, for which I'm very grateful. And it's been really interesting. So it made it worth writing. So here's part one, 18th of February. I'm sitting on my mum's bed, holding her hand. I notice it looks the same as mine, but it's as if the plug has been pulled out. The air has escaped, and it resembles a claw. Jean Nidri Pitt was Ludgate, née Hubble, a lifetime in 3 surnames. It strikes me I'm very inappropriately dressed. I'm wearing a black, faded Adidas tracksuit with 3 stripes down the top and the pants. I spilt some bleach on this a while ago, and it's stained. It's not that I can't afford a new one. I just love this one, like my mum. I love her, and she's also old. 75. She's dying. In an hour, she'll be dead and gone forever. I panic. I don't want her to go. I'm thinking about that depressing existentialist novel by Albert Camus, The Outsider. He couldn't remember if his mother had died that day or the day before. He knew she was dead, but couldn't remember. Shock or just forgetfulness? My mind is wandering while my mum prepares to die. I don't want this to happen. I don't want her to leave me. I wish I'd dressed up more. The direction of my life is going to change in 47 minutes for good. I can't see. I'm crying. I'm crying a lot. I'm sobbing my heart out like someone has died. What am I thinking? Someone is about to die, for real. She'll sail across the sea to the angels, to the spirit guides, to her own dad, Jack. I can feel him. I can smell his pipe. I can see his craggy old face breaking into a huge grin. He loves his daughter, and so he should. She is the only woman I've ever known who hasn't gone weird after they turned 40. Well, apart from when she hit the menopause and I found her kissing Dave Ollie, one of my best friends at the time. Why do women turn so strange? I love women. I adore them. I have about 200 female friends and 3 males. But women seem to stop knowing what they want, and whatever it is, it's always what you haven't got. And if you get it, they don't want it anymore. They wake up one morning and look at you and can't remember what you're for, what you're doing next to them. And when they tell you something, you know they're thinking something different. That I do know is I have a gift, or a curse. Jury's out. You see, I know what people are thinking. I know if people are bad or good. I know if they have a guilty secret or sometimes if they're going to die. Something we're forbidden to ever tell people. That's a confession and a half on your mother's deathbed, isn't it? But it's her fault. She gave it to me as she's the same. She rings you and asks you what's wrong, or just turns up expectant and knowing. Why and how? I never wanted to be the same, but I do have it, like lupus or bingo wings or short legs, which I definitely have. Short legs, that is. And I'm a bit chubby like her. My parents sat me down once when I was 16 and told me I had a nice smile. I was going through my first really bad bout of depression, which is called being bipolar these days. So at least I have that. My smile, I mean, not depression, although I secretly embrace my dips. I think of my smile as my angel. When I smile, you can see my angel. And when I get angry, the devil rides out. I'm working on that. I can feel the beautiful feathered wings on my back under the tracksuit. I could unfurl them and flap away right now. I dream about it often enough. Maybe I'll get a tattoo. Right, shut it. Concentrate. I can't. That black cat sitting on the end of Mum's bed is purring too loudly. My mum says through closed eyes that the cat knows she's going. It curls up on the bed of patients in the hospice when they're about to die, and it's never ever wrong. Well, that's settled. Mum asked me to leave, but she needs to concentrate. Fuck a doodle do. When have you ever heard an OAP ask for space to concentrate when they're about to die? They usually say something like, "Is that you, dear?" Or, "I can hear the sea." Concentrate? Oh well, I suppose we had better go. But I know the moment I'm out of the door she'll die and that'll be it. I can't bear it. I start crying again. I feel five. I feel five most of the time. Apart from when I get angry, then I feel like Conan the Barbarian. I destroyed a whole freestanding wardrobe once with my bare hands. I'm scared of myself. It's a power inside of me which is hiding. I feel I could push a building over by looking at it. I leave. The purring is louder. "Bye-bye, dear," she says. Not sure she's talking to the cat or me. Probably the cat. She always loved animals. 18th of March. My mum was a healer. People used to turn up on her doorstep unannounced, so she opened a clinic where they could go. I'm sitting at her funeral while her life flashes before me. But why does that happen? Why does anything happen? I think I'll try to find out. Something strange is going on. Mum has only been dead a few days, but I feel different somehow. I'm scared, tick. Confused, tick. Abandoned, tick. But a door is starting to open. This is very, very strange. It's as if she's closed one door behind her, but opened one in my mind. She's been doing that all my life, without me really noticing. There was this spiritual powerhouse hiding in a little old lady. Don't get the wrong idea. She wasn't a weed. She'd step up to the plate when she had to. Before she got cancer, she had arms like tugboats, which is where I got mine from. And she had a temper on her when she was younger. Did you know the Nephilim, biblical giants like Goliath, were supposed to be retrieved miscarriages? My mum had 5. She chased me up the stairs with a poker, hot and glowing from the fire once. Her eyes were burning like coals, too. That stopped when I grew up a bit and she had to look upwards to tell me off, as I'd start laughing. She looked so funny. Anger in a short, fat woman is pure comedy. But she loved me, treasured me, as she saw her gift mirrored, and wanted to teach me her ways. The ways of a psychic, a visionary, an enlightened teacher. Okay, I got that, but I didn't want it. But maybe I do now. Maybe I'm ready. Maybe I'll walk out of the funeral and kill myself. Maybe not. Abandonment. That's the one thing which defeats me. Whenever I'm abandoned, I can feel my strength ebbing away like Superman suffering the effects of kryptonite. It's odd how you can go from super happiness to abject misery as fast as you can blink your eyes. I do it all the time. An unguarded comment, or worse, a thought, or a certain look in someone's eyes, and you just know. You've taken the bait before they even realise you've understood what they've just said. Everyone feels the need to over-explain everything. It's okay, I get it. Usually before you finish the sentence. It's the handshake when I meet a stranger. I just know. It would make my life, and others, easier if I kept that to myself. But it's time you knew. Now my mum is dead and I can't hide behind her. I need to come clean. This is a very strange state of mind. Why does it take her dying for me to start living? I'm so bad at it. The radio receiver in my head twirls through channels constantly. It picks up other people's pain. The impact and shock of a train crash on another continent. the sickening pain of a cruel bayonet or knife in the guts, anger, joy, pain. It strikes me from nowhere. My mood never matches the circumstances, and then sometimes I watch the news and understand where it came from. My life is like wearing a suit and trainers at a greyhound track with someone else's gorgeous wife in tow, mismatched and chancing it, but nothing can fight off the constant, abstract, sad feeling inside. I want to be happy and content, but I never have been, and maybe never will. Low serotonin levels, apparently. I want to fit in, but I never have. I love my wife, I really do. My mind has wandered again. My daughter Tommy is singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. She is beautiful, and so is that song. I'll never be able to listen to it again, though. I feel my mum sitting on the rafter above. She is young and luxuriant again, with thick red hair. She's swinging her legs like a kid. She is a kid. She's going to be off soon, but just wanted to make sure everyone was okay, just like she always did. Well, I'm not, Mum. I feel like a ship which has slipped its mooring in a storm, torn the ring from the jetty on the end of the painter line, and is now dragging it in the water. I start crying again. I have to learn to deal with death. I really do. That's my mission, apart from discovering who or what I am. Maybe it's time I face that too. I'm standing, looking down into Mum's open grave. She's in a little wicker basket like a baby. Moses. I like the idea of being Moses. I think I'll reread the Old Testament. Have you ever done that? Like reading a novel? My God, what a violent, vengeful God the Old Testament God was. That can't be right, surely. They seem to spend their time lopping heads off their enemies, their wives, girlfriends, even children, and just chucking them over the city walls. I wouldn't be surprised if the family dog, hamster, and goldfish went too. What is that about? Why would the creator of the universe want someone's goldfish bunged over a wall? Do you think God created goldfish for revenge? No, of course not. Does that make the Old Testament bunk? Possibly. The book of Revelations is pretty trippy, though. It's the last convulsion of the New Testament and is proving to be the soundtrack for the 21st century, as far as I'm concerned. My suggestion is that's the one to have a flick through. You might recognise the occasional world leader, the Antichrist or two, or a natural hazard. It predicts a set of holy figures that will emerge from the pit posing as Jesus, Moses, and angels who will then kill everyone. Sound familiar? I make documentaries about disasters. Great for your state of mind, I can tell you. Maybe that's why I'm so depressed. It may be, but right now it's because I'm standing tossing a handful of earth on my mother. I want to get down in the hole and curl up with her like I used to when I was a child. Dad knew his job was to swap and sleep in my bed. I wish that still worked with other women. What am I saying? Am I Oedipal as well? Oh God, I can't move. My feet are growing into the soil like a tree. I wonder how long it will be before she decomposes into soil herself. Will her skull burst through the ground while she dances Will her skull burst through the ground while she dances to Thriller? She can dance now. She's free. That must be a happy thought. Come on, Simon, pull yourself together. Nope. Still feel as miserable as shit.